Hey guys, it's me, Jennie B. Welcome back to Katawa Shoujo. It's been so long since I've played this. Last time I played this was before I even went on my vacation, so it's been like, I don't even know how many weeks since then. And then last week I couldn't get it to record right, so now here we are. Just want to let you guys know that it is super hot in my room right now. I have the fan on, so I'm going to see how the audio is after I'm done recording this. And if it's not too bad, I might just leave it in. It's not that loud, but it's just enough to keep me cool. So the last time we left off, oh, that's right! We met the new girl. I forget her name already. Was it Ren? I don't remember. Do we have two Rens? Do we have a Ren, an Oxenfree, and a Ren in here? So many Rens. We were gonna have, I think, a lunch with her. I don't know. We just met her, and I think I turned it off, and then I was, like, really excited to get to know her, so, let's get going. Let's do this. I come to a full stop, opening my mouth, but not getting a word out. I think we came here to find supplies for Misha. I think. I can guess. I am good at guessing. Better than most people. Rin cuts me off before I can answer her question, or skirt around it somehow. I don't know which I would have done. I froze in front of the issue again. I haven't even told anyone here about my condition, or maybe it's only because it hasn't really come up. I do get the feeling that not making issues of this is a part of the school's social code here, as the teacher said. I wonder if the people here could relate. Probably not any better than any normal person could. I can't relate to Shizu's circumstances, or Lily's, either. Naturally, while I go through this in my head, Rin keeps considering what my condition could be. With an overtly contemplative look on her face, she puts a fork between her lips and leans back, looking at the ceiling as if the answer was written up there. A beam of light illuminates her face from the window side, creating a mask of dark shadow on the other side. I don't think it's anything in your head, and something in your guts would be boringly ordinary, like this lunch of mine. Less delicious. The problem must be in your pants. This messed up Sherlock Holmes kind of statement and the sheer lack of tact it was delivered with catches me completely off guard. I think I might have reeled back even physically as Rin's eyes widened in revelation and astonishment. So I was right. There's nothing wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Oh, there's something wrong with your tackle, isn't there? Still particularly in shock, but recognizing the need to reply something, I spit out the first thing I could think of. No! Nothing like that. I have a heart problem, arrhythmia. It's my heart. I said it. More like blurted it out, but I said it. The girl in front of me purses her lips together and glowers at me, looking very disappointed. How boring. Trouble in the pants would have made it much more scandalous. What's with this reaction? I'm sorry to let you down. I forgive you. Just, I collect people, and a person with, that kind of problem would have been really great. She collects people. Collect people? People with different problems. Huh, so you just, go around asking people what's wrong with them? Pretty much. I see. With little left to say, Rin resumes her lunch and conversation dies away, but I kept thinking about what she said. It's the first time I told anyone else about my condition. All the other people have either known about it already or heard about it from someone else, or didn't even need to know about it like every other student here so far. Should I have told it as a natural part of introductions? Is it expected of me? Hi, I'm Hisao. I have a very serious heart condition. Is that I'm supposed to go around introducing myself from now on? As if our disabilities would define us. What a disgusting thought. Or maybe this Tezuka girl just has a natural interest in such things. As I walk to the back of the room to pick up the items on Misha's list, a chance opens to study Rin from the corner of my eye. Her hair is burnt auburn, almost orange, cropped short, Long hair would probably be impossible with no arms. Oh, I didn't think about that. The boy's uniform and lack of arms make her look very thin, almost scrawny. She's not particularly pretty except for her murky green eyes, which flicker restlessly from below her short bangs whenever she eats. The distance and the shadow make it seem like they don't reflect sunlight at all, but instead absorb it all within them like deep wells. She moves her feet almost as deftly as a normal person would use their arms. However, I can see how this sight could discomfort people, especially while eating. Makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable, at least. I hesitate to think about the word unnatural, but it's too late now, isn't it? I keep searching for cabins and shelves for niche things, but after a long enough time has passed, the silence grows too uncomfortable, so I tried to force some conversation out of this strange girl. So, do you always eat alone and this late, or do you get the occasional visitor? Visitors. Maybe you are my first occasional visitor, but I don't always eat alone either. Sometimes I eat with certain people on the roof, if she's not horsing around. Horsing? She likes to do sports. Oh. And that's all I can think of to say. Both of us fall silent again as Rin forks the last bit of her meal to her mouth. Look down at my haul and double check it with Misha's list. It seems I have everything except plywood. So I think I have all the things now. It's very nice of you. Don't feel obliged to stay. I was about to take a nap anyway. You need to do whatever you are going to do with that stuff anyway, right? Or perhaps you like to watch girls sleeping. I'm not sure what to make of this, but Ren looks serious. Even if I did, I think I have to be going. I'll catch you around, Tezuka. You can call me Ren. I feel that our relationship is at a point good enough to warrant this much. I was already turning to make my exit, but she draws me back in. Fine. Then I am Hisao. Then you are. Ren looks at me hard in the eyes, but that intimidating feeling you get when someone stares at you isn't there. It's like she's actually not looking at me at all. She blinks a couple of times, and I can't figure out why a pause like this just popped between us out of nowhere. See you later, Hisao. There is something like a tiny smile there in her face. Maybe. I quietly back out of the room. As I shut the door in front of my face, I whispered to myself, what an intriguing person. From inside, I hear a muffled sing-song voice. I heard that. What's she here? Holy crap, Misha. I jump with the sudden appearance of Misha, who I had not heard approaching despite the complete empty hallway. Somehow she got into jumping distance of me without making a sound. Creepy. It briefly reminds me of Kenji's nutty theory about global feminist conspiracy, but I pushed through that thought aside. Shizune, standing slightly behind Misha, looks aloof, as if she couldn't have heard the remark that drew Misha's attention, but Misha is visibly excited. No, wait! More importantly, who's in there? There's no club meetings today. She tries to curiously peek past me, even though the door prevents her from seeing anyway. What are you doing here? You took so long that we had to come check on what's wrong. That's no good, Ichan. She wags her finger at me scoldingly. I found plywood, but everything else is still missing because you are tardy. Oh, sorry. I got things here and I was just gonna bring them. I think you're up to mischief, Hichan. Who's in there with you? I wonder. Misha signs something quickly to Shizune, pointing at her own ear a couple times. Shizune immediately pushes her way past me and opens the door into the classroom I just left. I can only imagine the shock she's experiencing. With Shizune's diligence and attitude, the insolence of daring to deface school property by sleeping on top of it must be too much to bear. And indeed, she stares at Rin, frozen in place apart from the sight, but noticeable trembling of her shoulders from suppressed rage, I'm sure. Instead of blowing up, Shizune takes a couple deep breaths, adjusts her glasses, slams the door shut. turning to sign furiously at Misha. Oh my goodness, she is angry. Maybe she did blow up, but I can't understand it. She shoots a very loaded stare at me too, as if somehow my fault that Rin is sleeping on one of the tables. I hope she's not getting any funny ideas about the reason of my tardiness. Hello. Rin's voice comes from the other side of the door, and it takes a few eye blinks to realize she might have trouble opening it. I open the door to find Rin directly behind it, looking at us with half-interested, half-sleepy face. Hello. Miss Tezuka, what do you think you were doing? You're absolutely not permitted to use school property for such a disgraceful activity. It sure is suddenly very crowded in here. I didn't know I was this popular. It's hard to say whether she's happy or unhappy about this turn of events. At any rate, she ignores Shizun and Misha's scolding, so they have no choice but to drop the issue. Shizun taps Misha's shoulder, points at Rin, and makes some quick signs. Popularity aside, please don't do that anymore. Anyway, how's your project going? Will it be done for the festival? Rin looks at them blankly, apparently at ease under the pressure of Shizun's cold stares putting on her. I keep wondering about that myself, too. And? We'll think about it harder. As Misha signs a reply to Shizun, face turns to an unsatisfied frown. Miss Tezuka, please try to take this seriously. It'll be a disaster if the wall looks like if someone threw their lunch onto it. Rin nods assertively. We'll think more seriously. She's so odd. Misha actually giggles at that, but Shizun doesn't, not even after translation. She shakes her head and takes the materials from me and takes off with Misha in tow. Rin frowns thoughtfully as she looks after a retreating student council duo. How rude. It's true, though. I must finish my project before the weekend. There will be dire consequences if I don't. The end of the world as we know it. Like weekends usually are, but more dire. Much more dire. Maybe I'll postpone my nap to unforeseen future. I'm about to ask what project she has, but what are those apocalyptic consequences? But she walks back into the art classroom. Since you have nothing to do, would you give me a hand? I have two. Unlike... Never mind. This paint can doesn't fit into my bag, but I need it. She kicks lightly at a huge can of paint that's lying on the floor next to the table she was sitting and sleeping on. She lets out a dull clang. Being the gentleman I am, I naturally pick it up. Heavy. Yeah, sure. Where do you need to take it? Away. And with that, she takes off to the hallway. Me and paint can following, since there's little choice for either of us. The hallway is quiet and empty now, Shizun and Misha gone. So we are to leave towards the stairwell at the other end. Every 10 or 15 or 20 steps I have to change the can from one hand because the thin handle cuts into my palm. At least it keeps my arms from tiring too fast. Rin strolls on beside me with an uneven pace that I have trouble matching, or maybe I'm walking weird because of the extra weight. It seems one of us is constantly walking too slow or too fast and I can't figure out which. 2 flights of stairs below, trouble appears in the form of the head nurse and his fox-like grin. Ah! Mr. Nakai, what a coincidence! Tezuka too, of course! He nods courteously to Ren, who does not acknowledge him back, then turns to me because obviously it's me who he has had some business with. There's something I forgot to mention on Monday. I nod and wait impassively because I can't even begin to guess what he forgot. The feeling of the handle delving deeper into my skin doesn't make me feel enthusiastic about this interruption either. It's about your medications. Since you haven't been that long on your current medications, there may be some unexpected side effects which might require adjusting dosage or even changing to another kind of medication. So we'll do a few tests regularly, but what I want is for you to keep an eye on everything in your condition that feels off. You get what I mean? Nausea, headache, anything. Come to see me if something happens. Alright. So, how are you? Everything fine? I give up and drop the can to the floor before answering it. Apparently this takes longer than my biceps can handle. I'm about to say something generic as an answer, but I realize how often I've done that lately. Other people have asked me that too. Teachers and students here, my parents, visitors, nurses, doctors at the hospital. Everyone seems to be concerned about that. It's natural for a hospital, not so much for a school. Except this school. This is a small school, and both the student base and the faculty seem to be very tightly knit. At least that's the feeling I'm getting. And this is not the kind of school that gets transfer students too often. The thought sends shivers up my spine, but I give a generic answer anyway. That's great! Also, one other thing. My sources tell me that you've been neither at the school track nor the pool. So I'd like to know if you've taken up exercising like I asked. Of course I haven't. But his way of inquiring me gives me the feeling that I should have been running my ass off the track since the very first day. You have people spying on me? Not as such. I just happen to know a few people. That's not the issue here, so don't try to slip out of it. Well, I was actually going to do some improvised weightlifting as an exercise. I pick up and lift the can up and down a few times like some sad imitation of a bodybuilder, even though it's weighing down the arms painfully. The stupid grin disappears from his face for a second, then comes back like it was never gone. Tezuka, would you give us a second? The nurse grabs me by the shoulder without waiting for Rin's permission, which he didn't need in the first place, and drags me aside. When I told you to exercise, I wasn't joking. I understand that you're still in your first week and all, but please don't ignore the importance of this. The reason I'm coming down on you hard is that habits are not easy to form. The more you slip and postpone, the harder it'll be. It's the same with everything, like dieting. Can you promise me to be more serious about this from now on? Yeah, I promise. Definitely. He stares at me for a moment and shrugs, smiling again. Okay, that is more like it. If you go to school track tomorrow morning, you meet my spy, who probably has no qualms offering consultation to you if you want to go for a jog of it. Consultation? See you around! He leaves with a wave of his hand and no answer, and walks to Rin, who has been waiting idly, leaning against the hallway wall and staring at the pale lighting fixtures and the ceiling. When I approach, she doesn't move her eyes off them. Are you getting medications for your heart thingy? Were you listening? It comes out more accusatory than I intended, accidentally lashing out on her. But even so, I didn't want to start talking about it. I just met her. I don't know her. It's not her business. The nurse seems to be happily ignorant about confidentiality too, talking about that kind of thing in public. But it's not Rin's fault, is it? I look up at her, suddenly feeling a little guilty, but Rin is just staring past my shoulder quizzically, her head tilted like a bird's. I don't know why this is so hard for me. It feels like there's some inexplicable lock that prevents me from being more upfront about this. Yeah. They're from my heart. Will they make you better? No, not really. They just make me a little less worse. Rin keeps looking at me for a while longer and neither says anything further nor displays any kind of emotion I would discern. I'm thankful she doesn't. I'm still not quite used to all this. At the hospital was easy, but I still haven't sorted my feelings about having to live a normal life with this disability. We leave the main building and Rin leads us onward towards the dorm. We stop at a small patch of greenery in front of the dorm building. The dorm is built on slightly elevated ground with a wall and few trees that everyone has to circle around. Every time they come or go, it's probably the only inconvenience design in the school. The entire wall is made of the same bricks as the building itself and has been covered with some sort of paint. Most of it is mere sketches. Quick lines drawn with black and white against glade plastering that covers most of the entire length of the wall, but some places look more finished. There are human faces and legs and hands, and can't quite say what the painting as a whole might portray. Stacks of what seem to be paint cans are arranged in piles on the ground besides the wall. See, the left side is hardly off the ground yet. It's because I couldn't get into the mood yesterday, so I gave up and went to meditate instead. Then, it was suddenly morning. I have to work on it, but the guys from our class are helping with the negative spaces and base surfaces whenever, which is a problem. It's easier to paint big areas if there are a lot more people with hands. The reach is better, and it's faster too. She goes on a tangent of a tangent, waving a little with her arm or whatever there actually is to demonstrate, even though I got the point already. The white cotton of her sleeve flaps around and makes me think it could look sadder than it does. But it makes me feel out of place. Almost every tangible reminder of the student's faces, special properties, has it in the past few days. This girl doesn't seem to notice my dreary feelings, of course, and the fact that she lost me a while ago already and just keeps blabbering. So that's why I'm trying to figure out if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all. Oh wait, I thought that was Hisao still. Thinking in his head. So that's what I'm trying to figure out, if there's something I need to figure out, and then figure that out before it's too late and all hope is lost. Why would the hope be lost? Because the paint has to be painted, and then it has to dry, and then it has to be painted over with another kind of paint. It takes time. She finally stops, apparently thinking she has made some sort of statement that makes sense. It's best to start from the top. So, this is your project. You did this. Yes. Yes. All of it? Yes. Nice, but I stumble with my words, suddenly feeling I've walked straight into a minefield of political incorrectness. It's okay. You can say it. I probably won't get mad. I blushed really hard. I don't know what would be the right thing to say, if any. It feels that I'm more sensitive than Ren is, though. This is really awkward. Don't you want to ask? How do you paint without hands? See, I'm an easy person to talk to, right? With my feet. I almost guessed that already, but isn't that hard to do? You're good at guessing. Anyway, I don't think it is, but maybe I'm used to it by now. I can't get my mind around the fact that she could be an artist, but seeing how adept she is to using her feet to eat, I figured painting might not be a problem either. Neither of us had anything more to add to the subject. The afternoon light works pretty well. I was afraid it would look too flat, but it's not like that after all. I think it's actually pretty interesting. I wanted to see what it would look like in the dim light. Do you think it's flat? Well, paintings tend to be flat. Not like that flat. You know, flat, like some people are. No substance, no meat, where there should be some. I know a few girls who... Oh, okay, I get it. I couldn't really tell. I'm not that good with art. I can't name any artists or artist terms, so I don't really have anything to say. Rin shrugs her shoulders at saying, suit yourself, without saying it, and looks up at the sky as if trying to look for something up there. I didn't think I'd actually get work done, but if you give me a hand with the paints, I could do a little before it's too dark. I wanted to get a halogen lamp, like the ones they have at the sports track, but there aren't any. Rinchar is quick to recruit my help, as was Shizune. It makes me feel that the festival is such a big project that every pair of hands is needed. Why not? I'm not really sure if I can be of any help, though. It's just mixing some paints. You can do that. Do you have motor control problems? Like, you know, those people who have some? Cerebral palsy, maybe? Not that I know of. I get it. Heart thingy has nothing to do with that. She gives me a sly look for no reason. No, it doesn't. Let's do it then. So she sits on an empty wooden box and very naturally picks up a wide brush between the toes of her bare right foot. I open a few cans and pour some of the contents into the shallow bowls for mixing. The thick paint flows lazily from the can to the bowl like syrup. I mix them, creating funny hypnotic swirl patterns that melt quickly into each other to form a new monotone hue. Rin sets to work, every now and then asking me for a hand with something or the other. Finding different brushes is easy enough, but mixing the paints to be the exact tone this girl's apparently seeing in her head is a frustrating ordeal. She wants precision down to the last milliliter? Milliliter? Before she is satisfied, but her instructions are obscure at best. Alright, so I think on that note, we're going to end it here. We're going to end it on helping Ren with mixing the paints. We're spending quite a bit with her. There's some girls where we didn't spend that much with, like, I can't really think of any right now. But girls like Lily and, like, Ren, we do spend, it seems like, quite a bit when we first meet them. So that's cool. I like Ren. I like her attitude. I'm not sure if I really want to, like, pursue her. I'm not quite sure who I'm really going to pursue at all. I keep, like, switching in my head. I'm very confused. I really don't know what I'm doing. But thank you guys so much for checking this episode out of Katawa Shoujo. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys later.